Good evening, hockey fans. Thanks for tuning in to UCLA Hockey on YouTube. This is Brian Mellblom alongside for the first time Mark Devore. I'll let you introduce yourself and your connection to UCLA Hockey, Mark.
Oh, you're too kind, Brian. I was the goaltender for the Bruins from 85 to 89, including our championship win in 89. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's a blast. We'll talk some more about your history and how things have changed since then. That's one or both of the intermissions. As for now, it's a rematch of last night's game. As you know, the Eastern Washington Eagles are in town. They defeated us 5-1 last night. Bruins came out strong, looked pretty good the first couple of periods. Just things fell apart after taking a couple penalties and really quick power play goals after them in the third period, and then it was all downhill from there. As for tonight, similar starting lineups for both teams. Notably for the Bruins, Alan McIver starting in goal tonight. Up front will be Cameron Kwong at center, flanked by Griffin McCarty on the left wing, Leo Gretzinger on the right wing, and on defense, as usual, Billy Zegras and PJ Smigliani. For Eastern Washington, Wyatt Manier getting the start in goal again tonight after his one-goal victory last night. He'll be guarded closely by Paxton Dinwoody and Joseph Porco on defense. And then left to right up front will be Zach Maiko, the left winger, Austin Azinero at center, and right wing Zachary Minderman. It was quite the spread last night. I believe we had 5 different goal scorers for Eastern Washington. UCLA had no shortage of opportunities, just struggled to get that final couple of inches to get that puck across the goal line. We'll see how things go tonight. Definitely adjusting their strategies. They do want to come out strong. Getting that first goal noticeably better at the face-off compared to last weekend against Arizona State, where they were just dominating on the draw. Getting that initial possession can certainly make a change in what are your thoughts on that, Mark?
Oh, absolutely. Earlier this week, I looked up NHL stats, and the Canucks were leading the league in face-off wins at 54.8%. The Kings were, I believe, 17th at 49.3%, and the Red Wings, for the Red Wing games, were 49. I think that shows you something, the importance of winning the face-off. This has become a game of possession. It's no longer a game of dump and chase. The philosophy is possessions, which lead to scoring opportunities.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. And simply watching the Bruins possess the puck, even if it doesn't mean necessarily passing it around a whole lot, just if they're struggling with passing, just hold on to it. Skate, skate, skate. Bring it up the ice. Don't be flinging it around, chasing it. The dump and chase, as you mentioned, seemed to give them a little more success last night. So we will see how things play out. Players wrapping up their warm-ups here. Referees taking their huddle in front of the score booth. Be joined by Dimitri tonight. Kyle could not make it. Of course, in the announcer's box, once again, our PA announcer tonight, Scott Corburn, with his son Ben Corburn, playing tunes here, and our game DJ tonight here at LA Kings Ice at Pickwick Gardens. And Ted Johnson filling in on the camera. So thank you, Ted, capturing all the action. We're going to rest our voices just a minute and let Scott take it away for the starting lineups and national anthem. And we will drop the puck. Game 2, UCLA versus Eastern Washington. Back in just a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, now for your UCLA Bruins, the defenseman number 12, Billy Devore. Also on the bench, number 27, senior PJ Stanley. Right fielder, number 25, Griffin McCarty. Right wing, number 23, Leo Redmender. The center, number 11, Cameron Wong. And the goalkeeper tonight, number 1, Alan McIver. Great Simmons, assisted by Dr. Grayman. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we kindly request league wide, leadership captains, join our teams and coaches as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Starting lineups announced. Again, Scott Corbin, our PA announcer tonight. In case you missed that or if it was unclear or if you're just arriving, first of all, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Eastern Washington still in town to face our UCLA Bruins. Bruins looking to get on the win column, split this two-game series after a 5-1 loss yesterday. Starting lineups. First for Eastern Washington, in goal is going to be Wyatt Manier getting the start again after last night's victory. Defenseman for the Eagles, Paxton Dinwiddie wearing number 6, and number 16, Joseph Porco. Left to right up front, left wing, Zach Maiko wearing number 5. The centerman, Austin Azanero, number 26, and right wing, Zachary Minderman with the 19 jersey. For the Bruins, in goal, Alan McIver, number 1. Defenseman will be number 12, Billy Zegras, number 27, PJ Smigliani. Left wing, number 25, Griffin McCarty. Right wing, Leo Gretzinger wearing number 23. And set to tape the opening face-off is the Bruins centerman, number 11, Cameron Kwong. Referees getting situated. One last little fist bump before we drop the puck. Referee Gorelick ready to drop the puck. Teams cheering on their centerman. And we are underway at Pickwick Ice. Right off the draw, Cameron Kwong won it. Shot it in on goal. Easy save made, just dropping down for it was Manier. We'll have a face-off over to his right. Cameron Kwong pokes this one ahead. I'd say ultimately UCLA won that one. Backhand shot right in front of the crease. Somehow ends up back behind the net. That was Leo Gretzinger right at the doorstep. But Manier able to shut the door, and the Eagles bring the puck back the other way. In behind the net, behind McIver. Griffin McCarty looking to bring it up ice, but it's cut off. Austin Azanero intercepted the pass. Ended up putting it on net. Easy save made by McIver. And here come the Bruins the other way. Gretzinger. There's the blue line. Picked off in the neutral zone. That was number 19, Zachary Minderman. Both teams getting a line change. Tipped away. Setting up behind the net, Jimmy Fry. That's wearing number 25 for the Eagles. Shane Smith took it. Sent it back the other way. Back and forth they go behind their own net. Brett Sparks bringing it up ice along the right wing boards. Right in front of the Eagles bench. Ends up getting gloved by Monier for a face-off.
Well, it is interesting, Brian. The Monier, the Eagles goalie, has tied the puck up twice. He wants to slow this game down and hopefully beat the Bruins in the third period.
The game of endurance, a marathon of sorts. Time. Big hit behind the net. That was Justin Kaufman for the Bruins, the victim there. He's back up on his skates and chasing it. Kaufman again tangling up. That was, I believe, Jimmy Fry again. Eagles sending it back and forth in their own zone. Finally, they get it up ice. Picked off, though, by Ben Baker. He gets over the blue line, and he gets tripped. This will be an easy call for the referee to make. Fry just tripped him. His stick was a little bit behind, cut Ben Baker's back skate, and he's going to sit for a couple minutes. Just under 2 minutes played. We're at 18-13 on the period, and we have the first power play.
Well, the Bruins have not successfully converted a power play this year. Let's see what happens.
Did actually last night.
My bad.
No, that's our fault. Those stats haven't been updated. Our one goal last night was a power play goal, finally breaking that drought. Let's see if we can continue that success. Bruins controlled it off the draw, but a pass got away from Gretzinger right on the blue line. They'll have to regroup in the neutral zone. Ben Baker, the victim of that tripping penalty, back on the ice. Tags up to stay onside, and now here come the Bruins. Billy Zegras. Cross ice pass to Griffin McCarty on the left wing. He's in the corner, hits the break, turns around. Finds Ben Baker at the point. Shot through traffic. Loose puck right in the crease. They couldn't poke it through. That one was inches away from going up on the scoreboard. Still controlled there at the right point. Billy Zegras waiting for his opportunity. Cameron Kwong soft shot through traffic. Didn't make it to the crease. Bruins still controlling it. 57 seconds on the penalty. Shot through traffic, blocked up in front, and now the Eagles will clear.
Good offensive zone pressure by the Bruins.
No doubt about that. Both teams getting a line change. Griffin McCarty still out on the ice. All the other Bruins have come off of the bench. PJ Smigliani sets up the next attack. Picks the left side of the net to advance. Hands it off to McCarty. McCarty with the dump and chase. Cut off by Monier behind his net. Ends up in the corner. Smigliani to McCarty. Shot. Blocker save. Rebound. Back to the Bruins. McCarty at the blue line. Sends it across ice. Here's Smigliani in front of the EW bench. Pass gets cut off by Chad Haywood. Back to even strength. Fry comes right out of the box. Didn't end up scoring. They were so close. Had some good looks, some good shots there. That one just wouldn't trickle over the goal line right up against the post. Lucky break there for the Eagles. 5th minute of play, back in the neutral zone. UCLA collects the loose puck. Tyler Sheppy now with it, number 4 blue. Sends it up ice. Here's Aaron Minkov in the 19 jersey, finding Leo Gretzinger in front of him. Played into the corner. Lane Eriks Sends it back the other way, looking for. I see a number 13. I beg your pardon. I don't have that jersey on my roster. We'll get that info as soon as possible. Shot right up between the slot. Goes high and wide. Bruins chasing the rebound.
Bruins have dominated the first 5 minutes of the game.
Absolutely. Most of it's been on the Eastern Washington end. EWU picking a side behind their net. Long up ice pass just gets away from Adam Kennedy at the center face-off circle. And Bruins bring it back into their zone. Cameron Kwong giving chase. There's Jimmy Fry first out of the box, tangling up with his opposing number 25, Griffin McCarty. They'll send it up the ice. Looks to be right on the Bruins blue line. They backhanded toward the Eastern Washington end. Couple players looking to switch out for the Bruins. Slow line change.
Yeah, that one was a little too close for comfort. Number 11, Carmen Kwong, I think, was a little too far from the bench before the man jumped on.
Certainly don't want to get called for something like too many men on the ice. Here we regroup. Sent up in the air. So behind the play, a big hit delivered against Roger Zink. Looks to be okay. Whiffing on it was Austin Asanero. Lucky break for the Bruins. They just collect the puck. Get another couple of fresh legs out. And bring it up ice. Chipping it ahead is Nate Marshall. He's wearing 15 back in the left corner. Bruins unable to control the bouncing puck on their end. Here's a one-on-one the other way. Jake Best's shot goes wide. Eastern Washington controls. Brendan Weiss back to the point. Shot through traffic, saved by McIver. Bruins now able to control it. Alex Tam tries to clear. It was gloved by Porco right at the blue line. The play continues in the UCLA end. Shot, or maybe it was a pass looking to go right through the crease, cut off in front.
Nice play by Porco of the Eagles to keep the puck in the zone.
Indeed there, and they still have it on the Bruins side of things. Dangerous pass cut off right in front of the crease by Justin Kaufman. Eagles still controlling it on the Bruins end. Shot through traffic, save made by McIver. Rebound grabbed by Ben Baker, who sends it up ice. No icing, so hasn't been a whistle in a good 3 or so minutes, it seems.
Bruins needed that change. They were able to do that with the non-icing, the icing of the puck.
Yeah, they were stuck in their own end for a while. Kind of an extended shift for the defense. Here's Cameron Kwong. Shot. Glove save. No rebound by Munir. 11:54, as you can see, remaining in this first period. No score yet. I'm going to communicate with our scorekeeping staff, figure out who's wearing 13 for White, or maybe someone in the chat knows who's occasionally wearing 13 for the Eagles. And everybody there, thank you all for being here. 41 of you at the moment. That's great. Please comment in the chat if you have the ability on your device. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're watching for. Yes, we've seen plenty of Go Eagles comments in there, but we're all happy to have you with us. Thank you all for tuning in. It's a pleasure to bring this game to you way up in Spokane or wherever you may be. Let us know. .11:05 in the period. Bruins dump and get another line change. Eastern Washington controlling the puck, but doing the same thing as far as substitutions.
Two-man forecheck by the Bruins. That would be number 19, Minkoff, and number
That's 20.
23.
Gretzinger.
Gretzinger, right.
There's Minkov again. Eagles bringing it up ice. Mitch Hunt with it along the right wing. Splits a defender. Looking for a backhand shot. Goes high over the crossbar. Maybe McIver got a little piece of it. Another shot at the point. Deflected up front. That was Joseph Porco. Maybe Ashwin Dina deflected it. But the puck goes over the glass into the netting out of play.
Well, Brian, I was looking forward to watching number 29, Mitch Hunt, for the Eagles. He's got 23 points in 16 games and 57 penalty minutes. A throwback to the all-around hockey players of previous eras, and he clearly is the best skater. Of course, he's off the ice now, but clearly the best skater we've seen tonight.
Even the best legs need a little break every now and then. Thank you to Lizzie Lizard 07. Number 13 is normally number 7 on our roster, so we'll make that change. Asa Cheney is wearing number 13 tonight. We did have a touch of the puck or two earlier. And to answer your question, Arthur Wiedemann, yes, it does look like Reed Kaiser's wearing number 4 tonight. We'll keep an eye out for him.
I think we have an offside there.
I see a slashing hand signal by the referee in the right corner. Maybe offside is what killed the play. And it looks like the UCLA penalty as they're opening the box there for Ben Baker to step in. 9:45 to go. And I believe it's going to be a minor slash. Eastern Washington now with the power play. They win the draw on the Bruins end. Mitch Hunt setting up the play over to Porco in the center. Now back over to Hunt. Bruins setting up their diamond. Pressuring the puck.
Bruins killing penalties at a rate of 53% going into last night. And put that in perspective, the Sharks.
That was a bad backhand no-look attempt to get the puck out of the way by P.J. Smigliani. Unfortunately, ended up right on the stick blade of Mitch Hunt, who buried it to a wide-open spot on the net behind Alan McIver. And just 29 seconds into that penalty, 9:16 to go. It's 1-0 Eastern Washington.
You know, Brian, a 53% penalty kill is just not going to cut it in the ACHA. To put in perspective, the Sharks at about over 90% this year, leading the NHL, and actually at a record pace of 90%.
Well, the Bruins will start this one behind. They had the first goal last night. They'll be playing catch-up, at least for their first goal. 9:09 to go in the first period. Face off in the neutral zone. Still scrumming for it. Poked ahead by Gretzinger, but then EWU ends up controlling it. In behind the Bruins net. There's Roger Zhang sending it up ice. Gretzinger to McCarty, gets a little bit away from him, and the Eagles collect it. Dumped into the blue line. No icing, as he said. Controlled by the Bruins. A little hit behind there, the opposing number 13s, as Asa Cheney laying the hit on Roger Zhang. But meanwhile, Bruins come up ahead. Fry was kind of screaming almost. Griffin McCarty tumbles over him, gets right back up, is okay, but you don't see.
I think Gretzinger was at Fry's. Someone got Fry's license plate there, and Gretzinger took it upon himself.
Oh, my.
You could see that coming across the ring.
8:05 to go in the period. UCLA collected in their own end and bring it up ice. Here's Justin Kaufman on the right wing. Drops it back to McCarty. McCarty sends it up around the corner, looking for Ben Baker. Baker cuts to the middle. Wrist shot blocked right up in front off of the shin guard of Chad Haywood, who's slow to go back to the bench and put any weight on his left foot. You know, gets off the ice on his own accord, but that could not have felt good. I'm sure he's happy to keep the puck out of the net, but not the least painful way to do so. In any case, this is probably going to be icing. It's dumped way ahead. Winning the race was Billy Zegras. So EW will not get a line change.
Next goal, very important, Brian. Last night, the Bruins kept it close for about 2 periods, and then the proverbial well fell in. So we really need the next goal.
That 2-goal lead can really set the tone for things. If it's tied or a 1-goal game, very different than having a 2-goal lead or 2-goal deficit. 7:22 to go in the period. Kaufman taking the draw for the Bruins. Boys in blue controlling it. Centering pass makes its way through the crease. Smigliani, a wrist shot from deep. Ends up getting saved by Manier, but the Bruins continue. Another shot, wrist shot deep by
We're going to have a whistle
Billy
to
Zegras.
the net move.
Yes, the net was dislodged after that save on Billy Zegras' shot.
The Bruins are getting shots, good shots from the point. They need to crash the net more, looking for a deflection or a rebound, and that's how they're going to score in this game. And ironically, the EW goal was a rebound shot.
There you go. Just getting it out of the slot right in that area, right in front of the crease between the circles. Generally advised not to pass through there, but to play it to the outside. And that may be what Smigliani was trying to do, just get it out there. But Hunt was in the right place at the right time to bury one. Bruins had it, still do, but outside of the zone. Smigliani has to retreat. Pass goes off of Zegras' skate. They end up all the way back at their own goal line. Kaufman sets up the next Bruins attack. Better passing tonight. Shot goes behind. That was Leo Gretzinger with a wrister, missing to the left. Rebound being jousted for. EW coming away with it. Here's a one-on-one. Well, 1-on-2 now. It's quick to drop back there is Cameron Kwong. He's really quick on his skates. Jousting in the corner. A couple players from each team trying to come away with it. There's the dueling number 11, Shane Smith versus Cameron Kwong, right in the corner. In on it is now Tyler Sheppy, who sends it around the left side, collected by Chad Haywood of the Eagles. Dumped back in the corner. Smith tangling up with Kwong. Zhang versus Lane, right behind the Bruins net. Now the Bruins finally come away with it. Pass gets a little bit high and away from Alex Tam, but it looks like the Bruins were just trying to get a line change anyhow. 5:17 to go.
I think we have an icing.
There you go. 5:13 now after that whistle. Bruins will take a line change. EW cannot.
Brian, the scoreboard showing 4 shots for the Bruins and 2 for the Eagles. That can't be correct, can it?
I don't think so. What's on paper there in the score booth is official. The board, usually an accurate reflection of what's up there. But that's one of the latest additions here. That's still the same Nevco scoreboard. That's the company that makes them. But we're one of the few rinks now in Southern California that have the shot counters, and some of the staff it's a lot to handle when you're doing the score sheet, the clock, and the scoreboard. Adding on the shot on goal display is really tricky for one person to do. So we will check on that at intermission, get the accurate shots and saved tallies. Meanwhile, over on the Bruins side of things, Eastern Washington controlling it. No tripping penalty there. Ben Baker just fell down. Held in by EWU. Chad Haywood took a shot from the blue line. Finally get the Bruins get it over their blue line. They're quickly tagging up, and Haywood again, this time finding McIver, who makes the save. Played ahead. Here comes Gretzinger, splitting a couple defenders. Backhand shot right in front of the crease, save Manier. Eastern Washington back the other way. Smothered by a few Bruins. PJ Smigliani ultimately came away with it. Justin Kaufman brings it up ice. Shot by Gretzinger, gloved by Manier, no rebound. 3:49 to go in the period. Still 1-0 EWU over the Bruins. Checking back into the chat here. Thank you, everyone.
Gretzinger,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Gretzinger, a sophomore, and with a last name like that, do you think he was ever referred to in his minor hockey days as the great Gretzinger?
There you go. Well played, sir.
Thank you.
3:45 Bruins chasing it back towards their end. As you said, that face-off win, especially when it's in one of the attack zones.
I could have seen an elbow on that. Ref was looking at it, but
We shall see. Definitely got physical toward the end. This one, the refs taking control. Well, those are some easy calls to make, of course. And this one. There we go. Now it looks like it'll be a power play for the Bruins. Boarding is the call. We'll see who goes to sit down. But with 3:10 left in the period, Bruins get another power play and a great opportunity to carry some momentum into the locker room at intermission.
Will Hunt leading the Eagles with 57 penalty minutes heading into the weekend adds to his total there.
He added a couple last night, so I'm not exactly sure. I think 63, so that'll be 65 now. In any case, he's well in the lead for his team in the PIMS column. Bruins holding it in the EWN, calmly passing it around in the circle, waiting for an opening. Up to carry it around the corner. Over to Zegras. Zegras, wrist shot through traffic, deflected up front. Second shot goes high over the net, collected by Ben Baker as it caroms around the corner. McCarty to Gretzinger. The Zegras slap shot, deflected out of the air.
Beautiful deflection by Griffin McCarty. Unfortunately, is that Burden? I'm sorry, Monair was kind of just positioned in the right place.
Looks like, I was wondering why the play was whistled dead. Didn't look like the puck was deflected from a stick above the height of the crossbar, but evidently the net was dislodged. And in such situations, if you're in the act of shooting, you can carry out your shots. And if you're still winding, or there's very, gray areas, what's considered the act of shooting versus a pass or something like that.
And for those wondering, no replay at the ACH level, due basically to the fact that not every team in the country has those capabilities, and it wouldn't be fair to play different rules.
You can be the judge here in the chat, though. Just hit rewind. I believe we have the DVR option enabled here. You be the judge. Chime in the comments. Did the refs get it right? The refs might be watching this later, too. No, that's, of course, unofficial. All the volunteer officials on the chat. Bruins now. A penalty didn't get up on the board. It was at 3:05, so look for 1:05 on the game clock. That'll be the end of that time being served. Again, there's so much to do. You got to write down the penalty. Sometimes it's not the easiest to read the players' numbers as they're coming in. The referees don't necessarily tell you that. They'll give you the hand signal for what the infraction was. In any case, 1:50 to go in the period. So at 1:45, 40 seconds on the power play. EWU clearing it down the length of the ice twice on consecutive possessions now for the Bruins. They clear the blue line. Pass gets a little bit behind Gretzinger. Now physical play along the sideboards. McCarty in there with Joseph Porco. McCarty reverses. Backhand into the slot. Cameron Kwong looking for it. Couldn't get a good shot on. Fake slap shot by McCarty. Over behind the net. Looking for
Penalty's up.
Gretzinger. Looked like they might have shaved a couple seconds off of there, but when it doesn't. Oh, wait, maybe it's 3:10 now that I think of it. In any case, it's 105 now. Even strength. Bruins yet to convert on the power play tonight. Not for lack of opportunity. Definitely Eastern Washington more success on clearing it down the ice on that particular penalty kill of theirs. Bruins, though, win the draw on the Eastern Washington end. Excuse me. Eagles, not Huskies. Last minute of the period. Zachary Minderman now sends it up ice. This will be a one-on-one if they can get to it. Azanaro does. The backhander through the slot goes wide. The rebound, though, shot in by Fry. That one also missed. Play blown dead, I believe, is the puck.
Puck's on the outside of the net.
On the
back of the weapon.
Yes. Couldn't be seen on the caves. They don't want people hacking at the net from behind it. So it'll be a face-off to the right of Alan McIver with 36.8 seconds on the clock. Eagles win the draw. Goes back to Fry, who tries to wrist shoot, take a wrist shot. Wrist shoot it?
Wrist shoot's a verb, I think.
Nate Marshall with it.
Out of play.
Deflected and over the glass near the Eastern Washington bench. 24.1 seconds to go. Now, is this face-off going to be in their zone?
That
Referee's
should be.
discussing it.
Well, I believe it was deflected, so we're not going to have a delay of game situation. Kind of hit the glass and then went over.
Indeed.
But incorrectly, the refs are calling the face-off in the EWU zone.
That's where I thought. I didn't think a penalty. I was just wondering if they're bringing it to the neutral zone or not. But, yeah, that does seem like the right call. Indeed it is. 17 seconds to go. Eastern Washington able to clear it. Smigliani holds it along the board, sending it up ice to Nate Marshall. Comes back to Smigliani with 7 seconds to go. Bruins might just eat some clock, or they're going to get an icing call here with 1.5 seconds left on the clock.
I think the DJ in the booth.
Anticipating the end of the period.
Exactly, during the icing. Didn't think it was going to make the icing before the end of the period.
See how that early Sons of Westwood fanfare pumps them up for this face-off on their own end to the left of McIver. 1.5 seconds expires. Puck ends up right in front of the crease, but nothing more from it. We'll get the official shots on goal tally from you.
Always good to hear Sons of Westwood, Brian, so that's okay with me.
It's a good tune. As for now, I'll go gather the information about the shots. Obviously, all but one of them being saved. That one, of course, on the EWU side of the score sheet. 1-0 as we go into the first intermission. Hang tight. We'll be back with a little intermission update and talk about ourselves. We like doing that, don't we, Mark?
I've never been accused of not wanting to do that.
Excellent. Hang tight, everyone. First intermission. We'll be back in a little bit. Check 1, 2. That's a bit loud. Hey, everybody. We are back. So really quick, the assists on that goal, the power play goal for Eastern Washington, as I'm dropping everything. Again, I was scored at 9:16 counting down on the penalty to Ben Baker. That was put in by Mitch Hunt. The assists on it were Jimmy Fry and Joseph Porco. Just a quick bang play there, and it was 1-0 after that. But as we mentioned, I'm joined today for the first time on UCLA hockey broadcast, as we spare no expense here. We'll just turn it. Oh, let me zoom out. Oh my goodness. That's
Should I
me.
stand down or?
I'll back up here.
Okay.
Without our camera person. Mark Devore here.
Trying to get a little lower into the screen.
Yeah,
there.
let's do that. Oh, this is great.
Live television. Live
Indeed.
internet.
As you mentioned, you were a goalie for UCLA from 1985 to 1989. You mentioned you're a 4-year starter.
Yes, Brian. I grew up in the Boston area, played goalie since second grade, and came to the Bruins in fall of '85. Came to Westwood and was lucky enough to be the starter for 4 years and to win the program's first championship at the 1989 at this very arena, the Pickwick Gardens.
Right here.
Yeah, they've done a great job. So I urge all of you local or EW fans, I don't know if they've come back down later in the year, but the Kings have done a great job renovating the facility.
I assume we'll play them twice at their house next year, and so maybe 2021 season, that would be their turn to come back here. We hope you'll join us. It's great to have how many, 43 of you, mostly from Eastern Washington from what I'm seeing in the chat, but still great to have you there. Come on down here, though. It's maybe a little warmer than Spokane at this time of year. We'll see. But yes, things changed quite a bit, not only from last season to here, but when you were there. They didn't have glass around the.
No, we had glass.
It
Um,
wasn't back in the chain link days.
It wasn't the chain link days. I know what you're talking about. We had 2 referees, not 4.
Oh yeah.
For use of a better word, the club game has become much more professionalized in the last 15 years. And, just talking to the Bruin alumni that I played with, everyone's psyched, was psyched for this year coming in. I believe there'll be better days for the program getting into this facility instead of Valley Ice.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
sorry, Panorama City.
Yeah.
It will be great for the program. We played at a great rink in Culver City, which is actually much closer to campus. But that progress in Southern California is now a commercial building. So,
yeah, because Harbor Freight needed a store, not a rink or
Right.
something like that.
I would just say a quick shout out, John Young, who was a first line winger in the late 80s. Keep in touch with him on Facebook, and he's always a thumbs up when I reference the program.
Excellent.
And please follow me. I'm writing for a blog about the Kings, Jewels from the Crown. I can be followed at Mark Devore NHL. If you want to talk about college hockey, if you want to talk to the Kings, I'll respond to everybody.
There you have it. Before UCLA, you grew up in Massachusetts. You mentioned you were born with skates on, pretty much. It sounds like.
Yeah. So when they talk about the Heritage Classic and the January 1st game, that's what it's like. And I've played on frozen ponds. I've played in rinks. I was talking to former Bruin coach and Kings legend Daryl Evans at the El Segundo practice facility, watching the Kings Thursday. And he's from suburban Toronto. But we talked about how in the 70s, they were building these rinks with just a roof, no sides.
Uh-huh.
And it was really cold for the dads and moms throughout the northern United States and Canada going to games. So
can only imagine. I mean, I've experienced some cold in my day. We can talk about me next intermission or something. But yeah, then growing up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, we had real winters compared to over here and whatnot. But yeah, those outdoor but covered rinks, as you're describing, that would not be too warm.
I don't know if you were a University of Wyoming fan.
Go Cowboys, or
but
go Pokes, I should say.
In 1987, they beat the Bruins in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Fennis Dembo, if that name rings a bell.
There you go.
Reggie Miller, if I can name drop again, who I saw at a restaurant in Calabasas a few weeks ago.
There you go.
Nice guy, and he was the top Bruin at that point.
There is a national championship for Wyoming Cowboys basketball. It's been a while. Understatement. But they do have one of those banners hanging. That's a great arena to see a basketball game.
Speaking about Big Sky,
Yeah.
I did turn on for a second the Montana football game today, and really learned, I think, that the plural of Grizzlies, of Grizzly, is Grizz, because they are the Grizz, not the Grizzlies.
Interesting.
Yes.
Huh. My first hockey game was the Denver Grizzlies. Now the Utah Grizzlies. They only were in Denver for 1 year before the Nordiques moved to Denver to become the Avalanche. That's a funny story. I'll save it to next intermission. We just got about 10 seconds left in this break here. You'll hear the buzzer momentarily. Referees just making their way back to the ice. I'll go rest my throat for just a few minutes here, and then we're going to drop the puck on the second period. Mark, though, great to meet you on the air, or I'm sure all the viewers.
Well, I'm looking forward to a great season working with you, Brian, and the Bruins improving over the course of the season also.
There we go. Bruins, Eagles, 1-0. Eagles coming up in the second period. We'll be back in just a moment. We are back and ready to drop the puck, and we do.
Let's play some hockey.
As they say in hockey. Let's do that hockey. Classic sketch. SNL, we're talking about. Chance the Rapper is the hockey announcer. Go check it out at the second intermission if you haven't yet. You don't want to hear me talk about me.
Chance the Rapper was a great episode, great host a couple of weeks ago.
I'll have to catch up on that. Meanwhile, second period underway. Bruins now skating right to left across your screens. Eagles opposite of that. Face off, and the Eagles then. Cameron Kwong comes away with it and shoots. Rebounded and then shot in by Leo Gretzinger. A couple of saves made. To catch up on the chat, where I was looking over at the camera, not at my screen here. Ron Hunter. We're in Burbank, which let me get the. Maybe you could look that up for me, Mark. How far is Burbank from Westwood? It's.
Let me get you an accurate. Of course, in Southern California,
yeah,
distance and time aren't necessarily divisible by rate of speed or whatever they say.
Right. We talk in terms of minutes, not miles.
Exactly. But we'll have that answer for you next break.
The Californians. That's another good sketch.
That was a great sketch.
Meanwhile, just talking SNL all period now. It is Saturday night, and we're live. Why not? Bringing up the left wing here. Bruins end up icing the puck. So they cannot take a line change. We'll send it back to their end. Eastern Washington will get the face off to the left side of Alan McIver.
All right, according to Google. And who asked us this question?
This is from Ron Hunter.
Thanks, Ron. We appreciate everybody's comments. According to Google, it's 16.4 miles from UCLA to the Picnic Gardens. However, they also placed that at 20 minutes. So we'll be leaving here around midnight tonight, Brian. And I got to tell you, I think it'll take me longer than 20 minutes to get home, and that's at midnight.
Very likely. Tyler Sheppy had a shot. Save made by Manier. Now Eastern Washington bring it down to the Bruins end of things. Fry with a long shot goes wide. Rebound collected by Mitch Hunt, at least briefly. Pass gets away, and now Fry will collect it in behind his own net. Flanked by Brett Sparks on his left, our right. Sends it ahead instead to Mitch Hunt. Sorry for the delay there. Bruins end up picking it off and managed to keep it in the Eagles zone. Puck ends up going back into that scrum along the boards. And
He's
then
a
Eagles
big kid, 29, for the Eagles. Mitch Hunt, yeah, and leading goal scorer, top penalty minute guy. I mean, that's a hockey player.
He's big on the ice and on the stat sheets. Bruins collect it around the red line, send it around the corner. Griffin McCarty deflected right up in front. Rebound shot and a save made. That was a couple of big frantic opportunities there.
Brian, that's exactly what I was talking about. Rebounds, rebounds, rebounds. Both shots, well, the first shot came from the outside. The goaltender let down a rebound. The Bruins were then in perfect position in the slot with the second shot. Unfortunately, it was right into the goalie.
Face off, won by Cameron Kwong. Gretzinger collects it. Soft wrist shot, kicked away by Manier. Carried into the corner, backhand shot poked away. That was Cameron Kwong trying to put it in. Kwong again with it, centering. Smigliani couldn't hold it. Ben Baker now at the point. Fires it through traffic, rebound in front of the crease. They score! Looks like Cameron Kwong got his stick on it last. So we have a tie game, 17:01 left in the second period. Bruins up on the board. What were you just saying about rebounds?
That's exactly what I was saying. And, you know, it's really funny because one of the NFL announcers, not Tony Romo, is always like, I was going to say that, right? I did say that then, and I wanted to say in the first period that McIver is playing very well on the initial shot, but he's not controlling the puck. It's bouncing off him, and we just saw 3 shots, the last one being a goal. I believe it was Booger McFarland. I think it was Monday night I was thinking about that, watching the Browns Steelers.
There you go. PJ Smigliani collecting it behind the Bruins net. Puck popped up in the air and off of the netting. Play whistle dead. Ashwin Dino was sparring for it with Shane Smith.
Speaking of the NFL, that was into our Washington State viewers. That was quite a Seahawks 49er game I want to say it was Thursday night.
Oh, that was a showdown. No doubt about that one.
Russell Wilson, excellent player.
Face off to the left of Alan McIver. It's going to be Justin Kaufman in blue up against big man Mitch Hunt in white with the red trim. Eagles win it. Hunt sends it back. Wrist shot goes wide. That was off of the stick of Jimmy Fry. Play it along the boards. Fry with a slap shot high and into the net. Got way underneath that one. 16-17 to go in the second period. We're tied 1-1. Bruins getting a fresh 5 out. They're sending their starting front line. Defenders are going to be, well, Jonathan Lamb and their Billy Zegras. So Smigliani was just out there. He's taking a rest. Lines tend to mix up a little bit as the game develops. Griffin McCarty on the right wing. Drops it back to Kwong. Wrist shot kicked away by Manier. Bruins holding the zone for a minute. Maybe a minute longer. Kwong from McCarty. McCarty ends up with it again. Backhanded through traffic. Rebound right up in front. Kwong couldn't put it through.
That's going to be nice.
Indeed, as McIver raises his hand to signal to the referees. Yes.
Again, a rebound, but I think the Bruins have noted that in the locker room between periods. Going to crash the net after the opening shot, much like in basketball following your shot.
Cameron Kwong wins another draw, kicking it over to McCarty as he locks up with their Eagles centerman. But Griffin, that's Kwong again. Now Leo Gretzinger. And firing on all cylinders all of a sudden, the Bruins. That one got away and ends up in their own zone. Clearing attempt held in front, but
of course, the second period, the period of the long change.
Indeed. Be able to make those line changes on the attack can help out. That was a dangerous pass right through the crease, trickling into the slot, but nobody from the Eagles able to take a shot with it. Instead, it comes over the other way. Bruins now passing it around, and the Eagles end. Shot right up in front. That was Roger Zhang on a one-timer. Stayed pretty low, and it was kicked away ultimately by Manier, but the Bruins still controlling it and just dominating lately. The last few minutes have just been pressure on the offensive side of things for them. That was deflected right up in front off of Zhang's stick, and they score! Right off of the rebound, as we were just talking about. Griffin McCarty lifts one over the leg pads of Manier, and the Bruins have a 2-1 lead.
He actually had 2 attempts there on the rebound, which later came out to him twice.
Taking a couple of swings. Puts the biscuit in the basket. It's 2-1. McCarty from Gretzinger and Zhang, as you hear Scott Coburn saying. So I'll write that down here. 20. Oops. Catching up on my score sheet here. 25 from 23 and 13 for your scorekeepers back at home.
Nice body work by 26, Alex Tam.
Sent in behind the Eastern Washington goal. UCLA still applying the pressure on offense. Finally, a little breakout for the Eagles. It gets a little bit too ahead of them. They'll have to bring it back out of the zone or they'll be offside. They tag up, dump it in for a chase. There's Roger Zhang in behind the net. Physical play behind there. Falling down, it looks like an Eagles player. I believe that was Zach Maiko. There's Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie reverses, sends it back around to Chad Haywood.
Nate Marshall coming off the ice for the Bruins.
Zachary Minderman, long shot at the blue line. Soft rebound, fell down in the crease for a moment. McIver didn't know where it was. Just dropped down instinctively and covered up for a face-off.
Now, Brian, if you remember, I want to say it's a 2016 NCAA championship game between Boston University and Providence College. Something very similar happened. Providence shot the puck in from the center line, and the BU goalie just kind of lost it. And he caught it, and then it dropped, and he looked all around for it. And when he dropped to his pads, he knocked the puck in the net to tie the game up. About 7 minutes left, and at that time, BU was just deflated, and they let down another goal. Jack Eichel of the Sabres was the freshman star of the Terriers that season.
I love that they're called the Terriers. They're one of my favorite all-time college mascots. Eagles working with it on the Bruins end. Bruins unable to clear it out. Shot was saved by McIver. Rebound eventually collected by Leo Gretzinger. And the Bruins send it up ice.
Smigliani needs to clear out that that Eagle player. He got to him, but he really should have the body on him at the shot.
We'll see if the coaching staff also suggests that adjustment there. Ashwin Dina tangling up with Brendan Phillips along the boards. EWU ends up collecting the puck. Mitch Hunt dumps it in about head high over by Billy Zegras, who shepherds it in behind the goal. Dina, cross ice pass, gets away. Eagles unable to immediately do much with it. Oh, there's a backhand pass, though, right through the slot. Shane Smith couldn't pull the trigger. And finally, Bruins get it out of their own zone. Cut off at the red line. And you were just talking about, well, I've been talking about the last few games as a goalie. I'm wondering from you, these gray walls on the end. Do you think that could be tough, especially with those floating pucks? Or is it, I don't know. Do you think it'd be easy to lose it there?
I think it's very possible to lose it. Of course, that wouldn't affect the Bruins goalie this period because he's facing against the wall. On the far wall left, we've got a warming room. We have some soda machines. There's people behind. So I don't really think it's going to affect the team going to our left.
That makes sense. The dark walls kind of the same color paint on both sides, but a little more noise, so to speak, visually with the soda machines, as you mentioned, the snack bar and all that. That's interesting.
Maybe one day the Kings will go back to the purple and gold and they'll paint the wall gold, in which case there will not be any problem.
The LA Frozen Lakers. In behind, Eastern Washington collecting. Azzanaro takes a shot into the boards. From the point, that was Joseph Porco missing the net.
Porco's a solid player.
Bruins will dump and change. As you mentioned, the second period, that's bringing it up ice so they can all be closer to their bench and get off. End up holding it in. They're tangling up. Referee wants a holding the stick penalty. It looks like it's going to go against the Bruins, though. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure because it was like mutual possession when the whistle blew.
Fry's skating over to the box. Is it going to be a matching minors? It is indeed. Fry, it looked like hooking or holding the stick, but then to match that, Leo Gretzinger is getting called for roughing. The 10:34, just approaching the halfway mark of regulation. We'll have some 4-on-4 hockey. All right, what was that again? Gretzinger with a rough. Roughing for Gretzinger.
Another penalty coming up on the Bruins.
That'll be 4-on-3 now for Eastern Washington. Number 4, Blue, skates over. Didn't see a hand signal. Tripping, that's what it is. Gorelick, head referee, signaling. So now it'll be a power play with a little extra open ice. 4-on-3 for EWU.
The Bruins 3-man unit is McCarthy, Zergis, and the captain, Smigliani.
Get a bunch of defensemen out there. McCarty, though, a quick forward.
Bruins playing the triangle, which is what you do when you have 3 players.
Haven't seen a lot of 4-on-3 yet. They bring it in. Shot goes wide. McIver unable to cover it up, and play continues.
McIver hasn't seen much action, in this period.
Not a whole lot. According to the scoreboard, 15-7 shots in favor of UCLA, as that shot is chipped way up high. Joseph Porco shooting one about centered on the blue line, and it was deflected up front. I believe that was by McCarty, and into the netting right in front of the scoreboard, which displays largely 9:42 left in the period. 1:23 left on the power play for EWU. didn't get the time written down for those matching minors as they should be up on the board. As we're a little different rules as far as matching minor penalties go in college versus NHL. So they'll go to 4-on-4. But if it's already a power play and you get matching minors, they will not adjust the manpower. They'll sit in the box. It'll be 2 minutes and then the next stoppage. So they don't put the times up on the boards. They don't want the players thinking they can skate out as soon as the time expires on the board. Oh, minutia for those of you who want to come and see a game sometime. That was dangerous. Right up in front. A couple of shots saved. Puck still loose right in front of the crease. Jousting for it. McIver down, and now it's just a scrum in front of the net. Finally, the referee blows the whistle. It's standing up to see exactly where it is, but no signal for a goal.
Nice play by McIver. I'm surprised heading into the game, he had a 7.13 goals against average and a 7.74 save percentage, and he's a much better goalie than that.
Sometimes the numbers only tell part of the story, I don't have to tell you being a goalie all that, of course.
Yes, and I'm going to have to...
Face-off won by Eastern Washington.
Someone's going to have to clear out that center. He can't just walk from the face-off right in. Definite lack of the intensity in this game has, in the second period, has really slowed down.
Shot and a goal. Skating right in was Austin Azanero. That will release Sheppy from the box. He was the Bruin called for tripping. Now we have a 2-2 game. The matching minors, those penalties should have been up on the board, so they'll check with the score sheet, and I guess as long as neither of them skate out and not one instead of the other.
Well, Brian, of course, I jinxed Alan McIver, just saying he was a much better goalie than his statistics would indicate, and the next shot goes off of him into the net.
This is your fault. No.
It's like saying the field goal kicker is great.
He's perfect going into the... Wait a minute.
Hasn't missed inside 50.
Uh-oh. I heard it's bad luck to be superstitious, though.
That's a good one.
In any case, 2-2. We're tied now in the second.
Actually, I was just giving you a platitude. I should have said, is that what passes for comedy in Wyoming? This is Burbank, the home of the Tonight Show.
Oh, yes. Griffin McCarty had a soft wrist shot through the air, landing right in front of the crease. Save was made by Munir. 2-2 are tied, under 8 minutes to play in the second period. Ben Baker.
He's okay onside.
Right
Nice.
on the near side. I don't know if you were able to see that.
Alex Tam held, and kept onside.
Splits to stay.
Man, that hurt from upstairs.
Oh, I bet. Now it's back on the Bruins end. They look to bring it back up. Eastern Washington pressuring hard on that forecheck. What have you noticed as far as the forecheck, backcheck, that kind of strategy?
The Bruins actually are forechecking well. Forechecking is when you're in the offensive zone trying to prevent the other team from breaking out, and you're actually facing them. Backcheck would be. Let's just wait to the next whistle on that one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or as one develops, of course, chime right in. Meanwhile, the slow 2-on-2. Tam looking to get off the ice, dumps it into the opposite corner. A few other Bruins will switch out. Eastern Washington able to clear, and that'll be icing.
Right. So forecheck, the best example of forecheck is when the team in possession of the puck often breaks out from behind the net, and the defensive team will station one, sometimes two people in the zone forechecking, trying to prevent the other team from breaking out. Back check, as the term back would indicate, is when the other puck is ahead of you, if you will, going towards your net, and you're trying to take it away from the team in possession.
Face-off won by the Bruins. McCarty took a shot pretty short after the draw, went high over the net, rebounded all the way back to the blue line. Eastern Washington able to collect it, bring it up ice, dump and change right in front of their bench. There's Sparks with it. Dumped in. Icing called. He was just a couple yards behind the center red line. Pass didn't connect with anyone. Bruins corralled it or won the race to it in the corner. And we'll have a face-off to the right side of Manier. Cameron Kwong anticipating the draw. He's going to go up against the size advantage Mitch Hunt. Kwong, quick with his stick, wins the draw, brings it back to the point. McCarty back to Billy Zegras, who shoots hard and wide. Zhang, fancy footwork, finds McCarty in the corner. Kwong, his bodies tumble in the corner, opening up the ice up in front. Diving, what a save.
I believe Pickwick Gardens the day had a bowling alley, or maybe they still do, and we had two Eagles and one Bruins just collide with each other as if they were bowling pins. But unfortunately, it looks like we have an injury.
Meanwhile, that's big Mitch Hunt, slow to get back up. The trainer over to check him out. Yeah, there was a lot of jousting for the puck right over there, just a little ahead of the corner, probably about parallel with the face-off dots right up against the boards, and a couple players went down hard.
Yeah, nothing cheap about that. Just good physical hockey, and with three people involved, it just makes it that much more the possibility of injury, of someone getting the wind knocked out of them.
No doubt about that. Of course, the old adage, bigger they are, harder they fall, and when
he's out. He's a big kid.
No doubt about that. Even without the skates adding a couple inches.
I saw him coming out of the locker room, and I went, whoa, these guys are big. They didn't make them that way. And then I see the rest of the team, and they're pretty normal size. They're a big squad, but nobody the size of 29 Mitch Hunt.
Face off this time will be the left of Manier. Kwong winning it again for the Bruins. Smigliani struggling to control it, and Eastern Washington able to chip it over their blue line. One-on-one the other direction.
You take the body, didn't do it.
Finally, the puck comes loose, and they attempt to dump it in behind the net just a little bit too high. Zachary Minderman killing the play.
Brian, I didn't like the way the Bruins defended that. We had someone coming down the left wing and was able to skate directly into the center, in the slot. The first defenseman has to take the body, and then we had three other guys who could have, in a sense, set a pick, right? Just block him from entering the slot. Instead, they got a good scoring opportunity. Nice save by McIver.
Good to have a solid goalie back there, but we can't do everything. And yeah, that seemed like they slowed him but did not stop that opportunity. That one, however, broken up right between the circles. There's a little one-on-one, at least for a moment. Hitting the brakes and collecting it is Gretzinger. Skating around the zone by himself. Little pressure. Sends it back to the point. Now it's back the other way. Trying to go around the corner. It's cut off by the Eagles, but they're going to get icing here. Smigliani in the zone.
We have a Saturday night game, back-to-back Saturday night games. Long trip from Spokane down to Los Angeles. The Eagles took last night's game. This is the time the Bruins need to score the next goal, and perhaps the Eagles will say, hey, it was a good trip down.
Checking back on the chat here, Kerry Maiko asks about the second Eastern Washington goal. I regret I somehow didn't manage to write that one down. Meanwhile, Bruins take a shot. I believe it was Jimmy Fry.
That 25. Was a shot from center ice that kind of just went through the board.
Oh, my goodness. God. Speaking of, Austin Azzanero from behind the Bruins blue line, just looking to maybe dump one in. got a little air on it. I heard a ping like it went off of the post initially. Must have rebounded off of the back of McIver's pad and then rebounded off of there into the back of the net. Either way, it's a 3-2 game now. Eastern Washington back on top by a goal.
That can really dishearten a team. The Bruins are playing well. Eastern Washington's a more talented team. Bruins are up 2-1, and then 2 bad goals.
Did Ozanero have their second one as well, or was that it was one of the 20s?
It's like your pitcher in baseball laying down walks.
Bruins trailing again. They're going to bring it out of their zone. Difficulty in doing so. Shane Smith had it for the Eagles back in the corner. Dumped around. Spinning for was Aaron Minkov. Chips it out of the Bruins zone so they can get a much needed line change. Tangling right up in front of the boards. EWU finally break out with it. There's Smith losing it. Bruins send it up ice. Giving chase is Gretzinger. He's got Kwong right in the center. Backhand pass broken up in front. McCarty with a one-time opportunity. Couldn't control the bounce or get a really good shot on it. Controls his own rebound, though. Dumps it in the other way. There's Zhang. Zhang behind the net. Right in front. McCarty with a rebound shot. Goes high and wide. Smigliani couldn't control it at the point, and the Bruins will have to clear out of the zone. Zhang tried to dump it back in. Looks like it deflected off of the linesman's back, trying to get out of the way from it. He looks to be okay, but the puck bounced into the Bruins bench and play whistle dead with 2:42 remaining in the second period. Kerry Michael will get that goal update for you at the second intermission report. 46 viewers. I saw we broke 50 at one point. That's a first for us. I mean, we have only done a few games here on YouTube, but definitely great to have all of you with us. We'll see what happens for our next game when we're not playing against the Eastern Washington team with so many of their fans tuning in. But thank you all again. Gretzinger finding McCarty on the right wing. Kwong gave it up, and here's Rice for the Eagles trying to send it up ahead. Zhang catches it in his skates. Kwong now dumps it in, racing for it. They're going to call icing, however.
2:08 left in the period, Brian.
2:08, 16-10 on the scoreboard for shots on goal in favor of the Bruins. They've definitely had some good looks. Some of those shots just missing the net, not being considered on goal. So many of those, it's hard to track shots that were not on goal, or what do you consider? You know, is that a dump? Is that a shot? In any case, I'll stop the stats geeking out for just a moment. Chad Haywood sent it across ice to Mitch Hunt, excuse me. Here's a one-on-one, so he can control it. Leo Gretzinger tries to go to the center, but it's
in.
Goodness. Wow.
Boy, the Bruins needed that one. Not only to tie the score, but I think it's going to make McIver feel better. And, hey, man, it's a game.
Chad Haywood was playing defense on there. Well, now we've got a goofy goal on each end. That was a weird one. A couple of softies, as we say. One on the Bruins end, one over into the Eagles net.
I would call the Eagles' last 2 goals softies, though, Brian. There were some shots that, from outside.
The first one, that was
zone, yeah.
Like post, back of the leg pad, and net. That was just a weird one. But
we love the Bruins for journalistic integrity. Isn't
it? Indeed. 1:25 to go. Now we're tied at 3. 1:25 to go in the second period. Let me make that clear. Bruins. Bring it up. Ben Baker into the zone. Dumps it behind the net. Giving chase. Alex Tam. Sheppy sends it around the corner. Finds
Wyatt Monair, the Eagles goalie, is going to be thinking about that one when they clean the ice in a couple of minutes.
Oh, man. Well, as you say, carrying that momentum into the locker room.
That'd be great if the Bruins could put one up here.
Less than a minute to play. 46 seconds to be more exact.
Nice.
Good save. Just paddled away.
Nice shot by Tyler Shappy.
Bruins will take a line change with 43.9 seconds to go. That's their 17th shot on goal this game. So 10 this period versus 6 for Eastern Washington.
You know, Eastern Washington's played 18 games this year. Going to last night. So this would be their 20th game this season. The Bruins, this is only their 7th game this season.
There are a few missing from there. It's still, I think this may be their 10th or 11th. But no doubt the point you're making about them having a much busier schedule than the Bruins. Similar to last year, it seemed to have had not a lot of non-conference games. Apparently, you know, the USC ones, a couple local things. I know we played Cal Lutheran this year. But ice time's not cheap. There's a shot deflected by a couple of Bruins, luckily into the glove of McIver.
Yes, you know, Brian, the Bruins played the ASU club, Sun Devils, last week or 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Of course, for those who don't know, ASU has a Division I independent program. They actually made the tournament last year. They're going to be in Irvine playing the Harvard Crimson on December 28th and 29th.
Let's see if I can get out to one of those.
Maybe go to Disneyland in the afternoon and go down the first night, watch the game, go to Disneyland the second day.
There you go. That's all for the second period. Bruins gets 3 goals. Eastern Washington get a pair. And we're tied at 3 going into the third. We'll take a short break. I'll get caught up on all the goals and assists. We'll read those off to you and be back for a little hockey talk before we start the third. Stick around. If you haven't done so yet, please give us a subscription or click that subscribe button on your screen. Share this with your friends because we've got a heck of a hockey game and still another 20 minutes of action, plus us yapping about ourselves and whatnot going into the second intermission. We'll take a short break. Be back in a little bit. 3-3, we're tied. All right, let's catch you up on the scoring. As you see, we're tied 3-3. Bruins had all three of their goals this last period. To answer a question from way up there, actually the second and third goals went to Austin Ozanaro. Power play goal with 8:35 to go. Put Eastern Washington up, or tied the game at 2. It's been back and forth a little bit. 1-0 after the first. Then Bruins had a couple to take a 2-1 lead. That was Cameron Kwong scoring their first one, assisted by PJ Smigliani and Ben Baker. Second one was Griffin McCarty, assisted by Leo Gretzinger and Roger Zhang. With 6 Bruins on the score sheet at that point. Then that goofy one, it went off the post, off of goalie Alan McIver's leg, and then into the net, or at least over the goal line if it didn't touch the back of the net. That was the second one for Austin Ozanaro, that long, high shot from halfway between the Bruins blue line and the center red line, dropping down there. I should add that their goalie actually has an assist on the second goal. That power play goal first came from Monier, who found Mitch Hunt that passed it to Austin Ozanaro for that second goal. So we're tied 3-3. Bruins out shooting the Eagles again in the second period, 10-7, so 17-11 on the shot tallies. Oh, thank you so much, Carrie. And June, I just cracked up when I saw your comment there. Any Bruins fans in here? I mean, well, I don't know if we count, you know. I like him. Oh, let me turn your mic up. There you go.
All right, getting a comment from June. If when you write us, we love the correspondence. How's that? That's an old word. Sorry for that. But tell us where you're watching the game.
Yes, please, everyone. If you're just joining us, I mean, sorry you missed the first 6 goals of this one, but it's kind of a brand new hockey game. 20 minutes to go. We got a lot of action yet.
Brian, now that I've thoroughly embarrassed myself by using the word correspondence in relation to I guess instant message off instant comment, whatever, on YouTube Live.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the viewing audience a little about yourself?
Talk about myself. I'd be delighted. Well, yes, Brian Mellblom. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook as Brian on the mic. That's MIC, like half of Mickey or something. Brian on the mic. I've been a PA announcer a lot longer than I've been doing play-by-play. I started as a scorekeeper at Anaheim Hockey Club, a inline hockey facility. It is under the same ownership and a new name, though, and a new location. They moved to Corona. It's now the Rinks Corona Inline. I was a scorekeeper there, just doing the score sheet, the scoreboard. It was a high school job my senior year. And one day they left the microphone in the booth. I'd be playing CDs on this rack mount stereo unit. So I took it upon myself to be a PA announcer. I appreciated the role of one, having attended some live games. And, no one told me to. It was just kind of accidentally left there, but no one asked me to stop either. It ended up that they were asking me to call the PA for the youth championship games that they were hosting at the end of that season. And it was another 7 years or so after I graduated high school. It was a long gap, maybe not 7. In any case, I found my way at Cal State Northridge, managing the pep band, brought it back to life to play at the Matadome, as we call it, the gym for home basketball games and stuff. After CSUN cut football, they got rid of the marching band. Unfortunately, the other athletic events suffered as a result. So when I got there, brought that back to life. I saw that we had an ice hockey club and thought, man, it would be so cool to have the band play at a hockey game. I'm going to go check out the rink and see what we're working with. I got there and saw they didn't have anybody playing music or announcing goals or anything like that. I took it upon myself to get in touch with the team president and said, hey, I've done this before. I didn't mention how long it had been or how relatively brief I'd been doing it. But I said, we've got to give these games some type of a college sports atmosphere. We need some home ice advantage, when you're in our barn. And that turned into me doing PA and scorekeeping, scoreboard operation, DJ for 10 seasons. Their broadcaster, in the meantime, UCLA were playing back to back after you mentioned the Culver City rink closed down. They moved back to Panorama City at LA Kings Ice, or what was it called? In any case, it used to be Valley Ice Center, LA Kings Valley Ice Center. That's what it's now. They were playing back to back. I got in touch with UCLA, so that was 2013. I got involved with the Bruins, just juggling the two teams. Actually, culminating pinnacle of that, I would say, is when they met in the final for the LA Kings College Cup 2017, in that Triple Crown season for the Bruins. I had the immense honor of getting to announce that final since I worked for both teams. It was CSUN versus UCLA. The final played at Staples Center. I got to be the voice of Staples Center for a couple hours. That was pretty awesome. But in the midst of that season, we didn't have a broadcasting crew for the Bruins. So that Crosstown Cup victory, that last minute goal, 5 seconds to go, Katsarov putting the Bruins on top for good to win the Crosstown Cup at home. Word of mouth is all that we have, and the score sheet is the only record of that game. There's no memorable call from it. And I just thought, we need to, this is history. We've got to get this broadcast and archived for generations to come of UCLA hockey players. I got a brief amount of experience as CSUN broadcaster Travis Van Note called me up to sub for him on the road. He was unable to make it to a game for he was in a wedding or something. He was in the wedding party. They oddly picked a Friday for it. He just could not get out of that. So a rare game that he had to miss as a broadcaster. He said I was the first one he thought of, even though I'd never done hockey call like that before. Rose to the occasion, just answered the call, did the best that I could. It was all radio style, no camera for it. It was a single story rink. I think they weren't playing there. They were up in Poway. The San Diego State was the team. They played against CSUN down on the road. I was calling the game from ice level on the outside of the CSUN bench area. So if you can imagine where the center, I was well inside the attack zone. I mean, a good look on that end of the rink. But anything in one of the corners, I just had to kind of do my best and say, well, it's in that corner. I can't tell who has it. But that gave me the experience and the confidence in doing this. It felt intimidating, having only done baseball calls, which I don't have to tell you the difference in the pace of play there. Baseball, you got plenty of time to look down at stats in between pitches and all that. Hockey, I find myself looking down at the roster or my spotting board to see who's who. By the time I look up, the puck's in the net or there's a penalty called or something like that. It's just so much faster, so much more action, but a heck of a game. I'm honored to be bringing this to you, especially as I'm seeing how big this audience is getting. We'll see how many people tune into our next game when we're not playing Eastern Washington. Great to have all you with us. But outside of this, I do work in sports a little bit. My main job actually at the moment with Los Angeles Valley College, I assist the Adaptive Fitness Center there. I'm helping out people working out or swimming with mental or physical disabilities, be them temporary or injury related or chronic, living with it all their lives. And then at nights, I'm doing this, or I'm working a lot of times as a statistician for various community college or Division III NCAA games, football, basketball, volleyball, whatever it might be. Never thought I'd be so deep into the sports world being a music major, but I've just been riding the wave. The momentum seems to be picking up, and I like what I'm privileged to be able to do here. And that was really cool of you to just chime in out of the blue on when we were still doing the Facebook broadcast. Now I've got a color commentary, but I got to cut myself off because this period is underway now.
Brian, just quickly as the period
Yeah.
begins, you must have really enjoyed that high school job commuting from Cheyenne to Anaheim.
Well, born in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We moved to Orange County in 1995, summer of 95. So I've been in California since then. Just crossed the threshold of me living in California more of my life than, but still a Wyomingite by birth. You get back there about every Christmas. My grandma just turned 94, still out there. My dad and stepmom as well. Got a lot of longtime friends who convene back there, meeting with their families and whatnot. That's cool.
Oh, nice. Just went right around him. Hunt, 29. Oh, great save.
Big
Great save.
save right in front.
Oh, we got a
as
penalty, I
crashing
think. Oh,
the
no,
net.
it's the net. Hopefully it's just the net. Looks
Yeah.
like it's just the net. Nope.
Net dislodged. I didn't see a lengthy orange armband up in the air.
Hunt, we mentioned this earlier. Excellent speed for this level.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been cool now, especially when I was with CSUN and they made the jump from ACHA Division 3 up to 2. It used to be just them with College of the Canyons in their division, just beating the oh, there's a goal right up in front. Another one, the hat trick now. 3 in a row by Austin Azanaro. At least 3 in a row on his side of the score sheet. 19-11 to go in the period. Just 49 seconds ticked off. And the UCLA Bruins trail by a goal once again. We talk about carrying some momentum into the locker room. Bruins tying up the game.
Yeah, Ozanaro had 8 goals and 7 assists in 17 games heading into this weekend. And did he get 3? Or
he has 3
making a
tonight.
hat
I know
trick
he had
tonight.
one last night as well as an assist, at least one assist.
Well, to our Eagle fans in Spokane, you throw down your virtual hats for the hat trick. Thank you.
There you go. 1850 goes, a big hit right at center ice right in front of us. UCLA regroup on their end, and of course they're skating left to right again across your screen.
That goal seemed to pep up the Eagles, who had been a little down since that bad tie game. Bad tie.
The tying
gaming score.
game tying goal.
Game tying goal.
There we go. Rebound softly off of McIver, drifts back out to Jimmy Fry. He got a second chance on that one. McIver saved them both. Bruins cleared this one high and may be fortunate to not get a delay of game penalty there. Nobody's allowed to change. They're saying everybody come back out. You don't get the line change for a puck out of play on defense, but it was not blatantly trying to put it out of play, which would result in a delay of game penalty. You were starting to see more.
Oh, being a music major, Brian, do you find yourself it's so hard not to call Jimmy Fry Glenn Fry?
Well, that was actually how I knew. Looking at it, people thought, is that Frey? But yes, indeed, working in music licensing as well. I was a publisher that represented a couple of the Eagles writers. Glenn Fry. I knew that was how it was pronounced, Frey. So I took a guess, educated guess of sorts, when I was talking with the coaches here. It's Will Mix. Eastern Washington scores. That's number 16, Joseph Porco, a long slap shot right from the blue line.
Isn't this what kind of happened last night, Brian? A couple of bad goals or a couple of quick goals in the third period.
Very early in the third period, and yes, 2 in short succession. Those were both power play goals, the difference here being even strength. And I don't know what it is about that third period.
Well,
difficulty here for the Bruins.
You got to be conditioned. I mean, it's only November. It's not like the legs should be tired. And a 9:15 start is actually a pretty good start time.
5-3 Eastern Washington now. Bruins yet to register a shot on goal this period. Hardly taking it into the Eastern Washington zone. Well, now they get an opportunity as the Eagles ice the puck. Bruins starting line for the most part out there, maybe a couple of the changes. We'll face it off on the Eagles end over to the right of Monier. But yeah, one of the things, having been a PA announcer for so long before this, I've seen all kinds of different names, and you start to. It's not as intimidating, especially if you just prepare, even just a couple minutes. Just go find the coach or someone who knows how to pronounce the names. Just talk with them, talk it out, write on your roster, spell it wrong so you say it right. Little tricks you learn.
That's why you're the best in the business, Brian.
I should have mentioned, along with the music connection here in a moment, as we got a play developing, little breakout. Nothing came of it. A little one-on-one, one-on-two rush. No icing, was deflected by Griffin McCarty. Eastern Washington take it on the right side.
Needless to say, if the Eagles put the next goal on the board, that could be all she wrote.
Shot.
Nice save.
Saved. Popped up over behind the net. I thought it was going out of play, but I don't have the perspective there. Eagles with it. Long pass gets a little bit away of Paxton Dinwoody. They chip it back into the Bruins end. Justin Kaufman trying to set up an attack for the boys in blue. Brendan Phillips sends it back behind the other way. There's Shane Smith keeping it, reversing. Smith drops it back. Phillips. Back to Dinwoody. Around the corner. Bruins. Smigliani in there tangling up with the man, but not getting the puck. Finally, a pass goes awry.
Bruins changing. Wholesale changes.
Both sides looking to get new skaters out. Gretzinger backhands it into the Eagles zone. They control it, passing it back and forth across the ice.
That's offside. Nope.
Barely held it. That looked like it was offside. I guess Gretzinger skated over the blue line before gloving it. Cameron Kwong tried to take a shot, deflected up front, slowly rolls through the crease, or the slot, I should say. And Eagles able to clear. Kwong collects it. Pass gets away. Chipped ahead over on the other side of the red line by McCarty, so no icing. Eagles. McCarty with it right on the doorstep, shoots and scores. Looked like the Eagles were trying to just break it out, make a little pass. It got away, though. Griffin McCarty was right there. I think his skates might have been behind the posts, but he handled the puck right in front of the crease, puts it in, and the Bruins fighting their way back. It's 5-4 now. Justin Kaufman in to take the ensuing face-off for the Bruins. Wins it for his team. They dump it in, but unfortunately Alex Tam got under it and a little bit too much. It goes off the net. Haven't put the goal up on the board yet, but it is 5-4. McCarty with his second goal of the night. That one unassisted.
Face-off's going to be at center ice because the Bruins were responsible for the puck going out of play.
Ham sent it through the crease.
It's kind of weird. He kind of fanned on a wrist shot where the puck left his stick.
Ended up like a pretty good-looking pass as a result. Or at least a good attempt to set up a one-timer.
Porco had Tam lined up and just pulled up at the last second.
Bruins Sending it up the other way. Along the left wing, tangling up with a couple of Eagles was Nate Marshall.
Gets the
Marshall
point.
gets it. There's Ben Baker, wrist shot through traffic. Right up in front, just goes up to the side of the crease. Tam controls the rebound in the corner. A little scrum for it along the boards. Held in, clearing attempt. Tyler Sheppy kept it in there. Sent it around the corner, but Bruins needing a line change. Will retreat, concede the rest of that possession to the Eagles, who immediately pass it long, and it's intercepted by PJ Smigliani. He dumps it in. Eagles the other way. This is going to be icing.
You know, Maria needs to improve stopping the puck behind the net. There have been several where he's just too slow getting behind the net. If the Bruin coaching staff picks that up, they'll be throwing it behind the net, have a man on the right wing, get that puck. Maria will be behind the net, and then have a trailer, right there in the slot for a goal.
I already got one that way. Cameron Kwong wins the draw. Smigliani, a wrist shot through traffic. Ends up going back around the corner. Eagles win the battle for the rebound. Try to clear it. Smigliani holds it on the blue line. McCarty throws it back in the middle. Porco around the corner, controlled by Seppi. Long wrist shot, paddle save made by Munir. Still holding it in, the Bruins are. Cameron Kwong reverses, wrist shot. That was a good-looking attempt at a one-timer there. McCarty, his momentum kind of carrying him away from the puck. Tough to get a good shot on it. In behind the Eagles' net, here's Porco finally. Still unable to clear. Ends up coming over to Roger Zhang. Zhang looking to center. Gets away, but McCarty holds it in. Sends it around the corner. Zhang again, tangling up with Phillips. Finally, the Eagles get it out of their zone thanks to Porco bringing it up. There's a one-on-one the other way. PJ Smigliani goes for the body instead of following the puck, and it pays off.
That is why he wears the C. He played that perfectly. Get a whistle here.
Shane Smith, a big one-on-one opportunity. Maybe a bit of a size mismatch, but Smigliani, yes, as you said, did exactly what needed to be done. No quality shot there. Bruins earn a face-off.
Brian, as we have 11:36 left in the third period, just ask some of our viewers, you can tell us where you're viewing from. If you unfortunately weren't able to get the hometowns of some of the players, and tell us about that.
Indeed, looking back up here from the last time we asked there, I'm seeing a lot of Washington up there. Ron Hunter from Meade, Washington. Galicia 1 from Mountain Lake Terrace. Kirsten Cheney from North Bend. Carrie Maiko from Edmonds. Thank you all for tuning in.
Well, it's a good hockey state. They have a proud tradition. Oh, the ref was looking the other way. That should have been a high stick.
Tangling up, it looked like Fry for the Eagles against Aaron Minkov on the Bruins. Yeah, as you mentioned, there was a little tangle up behind the play.
And, of course, Seattle gets an NHL expansion team starting this coming year, or I might be off a year. And tell us, I favor the Metropolitans or the Mets, which was the Stanley Cup winning team at the turn of last century. But for the fans up there, tell us what you like as a nickname.
From what I've seen of Washington, it's just gorgeous up there. There's Erica Wiltsey from Spokane. That's where EWU resides.
Well, I've never been to Spokane, but I've been to the Seattle area several times, and you understand why, like, the professional teams in Seattle and Vancouver use the colors blue and green, because really, between the sea and the mountains, it's really beautiful.
Absolutely. UCLA.
Hanging in there, the Bruins, no quit.
Trying to get it out of their zone. Looking for a one-timer and a fourth goal would have been Austin Azanero, but he couldn't really get a good shot off. Porco with it. Cross ice, one-timer deflected up front by Shane Smith. Doesn't go in. Beg your pardon, that was Zachary Minderman wearing the captain C and the number 19 on his back. There's Porco again at the left point. Same play. He'll try it again. That one either went off of Billy Zegras. Oh, it's going to be a penalty. I think we got matching minders. It looked like ref was pointing in two different directions saying, you both going. We'll sort this out in a moment here. Players high-fiving each other on their way to the box, maybe in agreement about the call. I see a mutual cross-check, it looked like. At least I saw one cross-check. That's the captain, Zachary Minderman, on the right side of your screen, or in the right penalty box. I'm trying to get the number for the Bruin. I wasn't looking there. I was looking at the ref.
I'm not a big fan of high-fiving the opponent during the middle of a one-goal game, but I do appreciate the mutual respect of the players, and I appreciate a good, hard game.
You know, I was going to ask you about the differences in the ACHA since you've played and what you've observed here. You mentioned the differences in, the administrative type stuff with having 2 referees instead of 4 right now. But as far as the competition back in there, what was the intensity like compared to what you're seeing here?
I think the players are bigger now, but it's not as physical game. Hockey, all the way up to the NHL level, is becoming a game of speed and finesse, which was different when I played. I played in the 70s and 80s for UCLA, and where we were coming out of the Bobby Owen, the Big Bad Bruins in the early 70s. You talked about the Broad Street Bullies in the mid 70s with the Flyers, the Lunch Pail AC of the Don Cherry Bruins. And of course, that's how hockey was played. That's how it was known.
Eagles extend their lead to 2 once again. They're rushing down the other way. It was a one-timer shot. Number 25, Jimmy Fry, burying that one.
Brian, speaking of the physical game, I will note that in the blog I write, www.Jules from the Crown, or should I say I'm a correspondent for,
there you
Jules
go.
from the Crown. I will I'm just finishing up now, so posted later in this week should be my article on the top 5 Kings tough guys. So you can just follow me at Mark Devore NHL on Twitter, MarkDevore NHL. That's easy. And I'll be putting a link to it up when it gets posted later this week, probably by Friday.
Do check him out. I've got to get on it with Brian on the mic stuff as well, but I'll plug those at a later broadcast. In the meantime, I beg your pardon. I guess Fry actually just had an assist on that last goal. I was trying to hear what Scott Corburn was saying. You can just rewind it at home if you want. In any case, 30 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey. 8:12 to go in the third period. It's now 6-4 Eastern Washington at 10th goal of the game. This might be catching them on launching. Baker shoots, scores.
Bullet, I saw that. We both saw that. I could feel it coming down the right wing, and he was showing a little net, not a lot of net, and I can't call that a wicked twister because it was a slap shot, but woo! Hardest shot today.
Right back in this one. In fact, that was on a delayed penalty. As I looked back over toward the Bruins net, Alan McIver was all the way over at the bench. So they caught Eastern Washington on a line change. It was 4-on-4 to begin with. We're going to get that extra attacker. They didn't end up needing it. I believe that washes out the penalty that was delayed. They still write it down.
Yes.
Charged against the player, but the goal being scored.
But interesting, the 37, Jake Brown, another Eagle goalie, came out on the ice and then turned back. And I don't understand why you change a goalie with 8 minutes left in the game. Or why put somebody cold who's been sitting here for 2 hours?
Back to even strength. Now, that's a good question indeed. So 54 minutes is all Munir gets tonight. He had all 60 yesterday.
Hey, the Bruins have been down 2-1, 3-2, 5-3, and hey, it's a 1-goal game. 7.5 minutes left.
No shortage of excitement here in Burbank. Eagles put one on net. McIver with the save, but Bruins unable to get it out of their zone.
The Bruins are tired. 25. McCarty needs to get to that puck quicker.
We'll see how that works out. Zach Myko puts one on net. Leg pad save by McIver. Bruins now setting up their attack. There's a 3-on-2 rush the other way developing if they can control the puck. Ben Baker barely onside was Griffin McCarty. Baker gets it to McCarty.
Oh, he's down. He's down.
Net.
We got an injured.
Slams into the board. Very slow to get up.
Whistle here.
Getting up on his own accord eventually.
Ooh, he's a little wobbly.
Beg your pardon. That's not McCarty. That was Ben Baker shaken up after that collision with the boards.
I gotta say, I don't want to see him for the next 6.5 minutes. I mean, in the pros they'll call it the concussion protocol when you get hit like that. It was a wobbly getting up, and it's been a very fine game. But with 6 minutes left in the game,
timeout apparently called. I didn't see who it was, but definitely 1-goal game after the goalie substitution. Is that indeed number? Oh, maybe that is still Munir in that.
No, it is.
Number 1.
37 went on the ice after that goal, not all the way to the net.
Oh.
And then turned around.
That's interesting. Oh, okay. I misunderstood you there. I believe that was the Bruins calling a timeout there as I heard to the back of my head. Scott Corburn announcing that. So 6:35 remained in the third period.
No, now there is a change of goalies.
Yeah, I saw one back out there. That's Munir. So now we're seeing, I believe that is
37.
Jake Bowen. What numbers do you have for him there?
We've got, he's played 2 games. He's 1-1, 2.50 goals against average, and an .868 save percentage. We're going to have to, at the post-game press conference, ask about this one. I mean, I'm not a fan of splitting goalies, but, it happens. And with 6.5 minutes to go in the game, in a 1-goal game, I guess it shows I wasn't crazy, right, Brian, when I said that, 37 came on the ice a minute ago.
Interesting. Well, if not at 8 minutes, at least.
No, I don't like this because the face-off occurred in the Bruins zone, and really it should have been about a center ice face-off.
I think so after that.
They had possession, clear possession around the blue line.
That's interesting.
And, one of their own players was injured.
Still have yet to get it out of their zone as a result. Well, no.
That's
Eastern
no way.
Washington.
Oh, I thought that was off the Eagles.
Yeah, I thought that was an Eagles pass that went to Rye, but apparently that was the Bruins. Little discussion here. Maybe it was indeed.
I think they're calling the whistle at center ice now.
That's usually what happens when there's an incorrect icing call or something like that. They'll concede they'll put the face off at center ice instead of putting it in.
Well, they have to, because if they have the face off to the left of McIver, it's as if there's no difference if it was icing. But
that's what they're going with. Justin Kaufman in for the Bruins up against Mitch Hunt. Bruins come away with it, looking to break it out of their zone. They do, but it goes right onto the stick of Paxton Dinwiddie. 6 minutes to go in the third. Shots starting to even out. UCLA with 19, Eastern Washington 18. That last goal, by the way, Jake Best putting it in. Ron Hunter was asking.
Getting a
I
little
should have
chippy
known
now. You know, his teams played back-to-back games. It's 11:30 at night.
It was not quite as chippy as it was yesterday.
Oh, we got a
There's
trip.
a little trip.
We got a trip.
No
Bruins
doubt
going on the
about that
power play.
penalty. Looks like, well, we'll see who's signaled. Big penalty power play opportunity coming up for the Bruins. 5:25 to go in regulation. Bruins just down by 1 goal. Now have a chance to get one with the extra man.
Brian, any response for about hometowns or where people are listening, watching?
We have a couple more. Looks like Captain Zachary Minderman's going to sit for that trip. Back in the box. Just came out of about 4 minutes ago. Right up in front of the crease. Couple of saves. Bruins unable to put it. Goal horn went off.
The goal horn.
I should specify that the.
Well, this is only really the second home weekend, I think, for the Bruins, right? At a new facility, so.
We had. This is the second 2-game weekend.
Right.
We did have one game earlier on. Dropped a close one to San Diego State, 6-5. Some renovations haven't been completed, or maybe they've just been changed altogether. There used to be audio connection inside the scorer's booth.
I have to admit, I was a little nervous with McIver in that one.
Oh, man. Our PA announcer and DJ are actually behind the net in the office, so it's not they're a good 230 feet away from the other net, which they thought was a goal, so understandable.
And the Bruin players had their sticks up from their vantage point. They were assuming it's a goal.
We're regrouping, and we'll see if they can do it again. 1:03 left in the penalty. Cleared all the way down the length of the ice. Eastern Washington get it out.
Zegras really worked up some momentum, but the shot was blocked by the defenseman. I think we're going to have icing there.
Don't want to ice the puck when you're on the power play, but that's what just happened. 48 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Bruins still trail by a goal, 6-5, 4:12 left in the third period.
Now, there's plenty of time left in this power play, Brian. As you mentioned, 48 seconds. However, with the new goalie coming in 2 minutes ago, a power play, you got to just shoot. Don't be too fancy.
No kidding. Bruins, Cameron Kwong was trying to bring it up ice. Gets broken up in the neutral zone, and now the Eagles will attack shorthanded. Pass gets away from everybody. Now racing back into their own end are the Eagles, trailed by Leo Gretzinger. Thrown all the way back toward.
One last time for the Bruins in the power play.
12 seconds to go on it. McCarty dumps it in along the right wing boards around the corner. Corralled by Joseph Porco. Tangling up with Tyler Sheppy, and the puck ends up in the Eagles bench, but still 1 second left.
That could have been too many men on the ice.
Borderline there, and
very close because the action was there.
Don't doubt that the Bruins would be arguing for that. Not a lot of yelling from the Bruins bench.
Oh, I'm sorry. The man in the box is from the previous penalty.
Yes, indeed. Back to full strength. Bruins won the draw, but the shot by Nathan Marshall was deflected. Bruins do get it back into the Eagles zone. Alex Tam with it along the right wing boards, drops it back. Now it's corralled by Justin Kaufman. He skates around, making a right turn on his backhand side. Sheppy through traffic, deflected up in the slot, makes its way over the corner. Sheppy again, bouncing, goes to the other corner. Now Kaufman
Let's be offside.
gets poked out, and Austin Ozanero going back his way, loses it.
Playing.
It's a loose stick, almost blocking the puck. Alex Tam Tried to send it back into the slot. Nobody there for the Bruins.
Now it would blow the whistle. He was down for a while now that the Eagles have possession, but he's playing.
2 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the period. Mitch Hunt sends it back in for the Eagles. PJ Smigliani collects it, passes it up ahead to McCarty. Over to Kwong. Kwong couldn't really control it. Backhands it into the zone. Eagles trying to get it out, and they do.
2 minutes left.
2-on-2 going toward the Bruins goal. Penalty coming up against the Bruins. Bruins just want to touch up. Eagles finally send their goalie over to the bench. Now it'll be blown dead. A slashing call is the infraction. 1:47 to go in regulation. Slashing against Cameron Kwong. Definitely not what you want to do down a goal late in the game.
It was interesting because Austin Azanero laid on the ice for about 5 to 7 seconds, and I thought, well, that could be serious. They let the play go on because the Bruins had possession, and then when the Eagles got possession, Azareno got right up and played at full speed. And then when he was coming off the ice, he started yelling at the referee.
Now that was interesting. There was a penalty against the Bruins, and the face-off afterward was at center ice. I don't know what happened there. That was I usually expect after a penalty that would be a face-off in the penalized team's zone. That was not the case just now. Either way, a minute 20 in the period, 1:30.
Oh, he's wide open, Fry. Icing. No ice?
Beats out the icing.
Oh.
Going back the other way. Bruins able to ice the puck as they're on the penalty kill.
My bad, modified icing.
Right.
Yeah. It's only been about 7 years.
The over-the-line icing that you were used to, and also me early on. Icing against Eastern Washington will result. Apparently that it was Eastern Washington calling timeout earlier. Now UCLA call for their timeout. 55.3 seconds left. I imagine Alan McIver might not skate out. He'll try to at least get 5 skaters out there, not be disadvantaged on their end. It's not a true extra attacker situation because you've got Cameron Kwong in the box.
It's interesting, Brian, the philosophy. I mean, one good thing, being a man down. I mean, never like being a man down, but that would allow the Bruins to ice the puck, for use of a better word, with no icing call,
right, and
get the puck into the offensive zone. And then, you'd be playing 5-on-5 if you're picking up the goalie.
Right.
And with 55.3 seconds, you said this face-off's going to be at center ice. Is that what we're thinking? Oh, no, we just had the icing.
Yeah,
right?
icing.
So I think you got to do it.
What
are you waiting for?
There you go. Let's get less than a minute to go. If you don't score, then, that's one thing. I mean, if you concede a goal there, it's not a huge thing. At this point, they just got to get, as you mentioned, the goalie just coming in there. Now he's, yes, indeed, they're going to send 5 out. So
that's the right call by the coaching staff.
The timeout before that, obviously, to come like
we're going to get a shot off right there. Oh.
Exactly what I was about to say. Win the draw and just pound the net. Like you said, the goalie coming in there cold just a few minutes prior. 51.9 seconds. 6-5 Eastern Washington. Bruins win the draw again. Oh. Another shot. Blocker save. Rebound. Cleared out by Eastern Washington. 43 seconds. Bruins looking to set up their attack.
2 nice saves by Jake Bowen.
PJ Smigliani, long wrist shot. Save made.
I like the way the Bruins did that, though. We've gone 3 shots since that face-off. That's why you pull the goalie and
playing like they have an extra attacker. 33.1 on the clock. Eagles control this draw, at least initially. And now they do come away with it. Mitch Hunt breaking out. We'll get over the blue line. He played the wide. He lost his stick.
Offside.
Play was offside. Doesn't look like it was intentional, so the puck will just be dropped.
I think we said two guys go in different directions and the sticks hit each other.
Yeah, no foul play there. Just
oftentimes when someone loses a stick, they'll be calling a slashing. But that's usually like when there's a chopping motion. None of that occurred.
Yeah, that was just a
Good
collision.
call.
17 seconds to go. Players tangling up in the neutral zone. Bruins finally come away with it. Smigliani controlling it.
10
calmly
seconds.
sends it in the corner. Around it goes. Griffin McCarty tangling up with Porco up along the boards. They're just going to freeze it up along the end. 1 second to go. This game is over. 6-5 the final. Bruins, 5 goals with just one short at least.
Brian, you've seen the Bruins more than I have this season. Any comments in comparing to last night even?
I mean, they put 5 past the goalies there. It's unfortunate when you score 5 goals and don't come away with a win. They definitely had some tough breaks, some that third period first minute curse that they seem to have. Just you gotta finish out the game. They looked solid for the first couple of periods. Just it's that final 20 minutes or that 41st minute, shall we say, that they just gotta can't be letting goals in there. It just it'd be tough to recover, psychologically, of course, from that as well.
Exactly. Had the momentum going into the locker room. The Eagles let down a bad goal, and the Bruins have pulled within 1, and then like 2 quick goals, right?
Indeed. Lots of even strength tonight, unlike the power plays last year. 5 penalties on each side, so you can't say they were taking more, than the others or whatever. They weren't really undisciplined, unnecessary ones. No unsportsmanlike or anything like that nature.
Interesting bunch of Bruins shaking the officials' hands. You didn't have that in my day.
Oh, yeah? Well, that wraps it up for this series. Eastern Washington takes both of them. 6 goals in this one to 5. 5-1 yesterday. We'll be back here next week, Thursday, as the Bruins take on USC in Game 2 of the Crosstown Cup. As we mentioned yesterday, the Trojans took Game 1 5-0 in the game. Was called short due to injury. We'll tell you more about that later. Hope that everything works out okay. So the Bruins down 0-1 in the Crosstown Cup Series, best of 5. We'll see if they can recover. That's 9:40 p.m. on Thursday. Again, 9:40 p.m. here at Pickwick Ice. Come on out here or tune in on our YouTube stream as you've been doing today. Thank you all for joining us tonight, whether you're down the street or a couple states away up north, as we see last little check-in as you were asking. Saskatchewan, Canada. That's Jarvis.
Excellent.
And Cheney, Washington. Rebecca
International audience.
This is fantastic. Well, this has been a great pleasure once again. Thanks for joining us on your Saturday nights. For all of us at the rink here.
Brian, it's been fun.
Absolutely. For Mark Devore.
Do it again. Follow me at Mark Devore NHL at MarkDevore NHL. If you like the Kings, and some additional comments. No politics, I promise. This is about hockey, the beautiful game.
There you go. Check him out. Great to have you with us, and certainly hope it's not the last time. We'll keep you around. Helps have someone else to talk to. Anyway, this is Brian Mellblom for UCLA Hockey. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time.